Hello, good evening. How are you doing? This is Neil O'Rellicon here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. That's the class of CT1100, Computer Systems, for the lecture at 10 o'clock. Now, I will be sending round in the morning the link which will allow you to log in to see that lecture at 10 o'clock. So we'll be starting on time again. Sorry it's online. Sorry you can't come into the theatre, the Fottrell Theatre in the Arts Millennium building, but we're still in the midst of this wonderful COVID-19 business. So anyway, just a quick note, on this Wednesday we'll be starting the lab test. It'll start at 12 noon. You'll have 3 attempts to do it, and I just wanted to give a bit of feedback based on the mock lab test results to you. So what I'm looking for is effectively this. I'm looking for the 3 sections in the CodePen to basically look like this. We've got a HTML portion, we've got a CSS portion, and we've got a JavaScript portion. And now what I'm going to do is just demonstrate what that does. What we've got is we've got this nice man with his hat on, and basically if I click the button, which is the switch button, he disappears, and when I click it, he comes back again. Now I'm not looking for any styling on the button. I'm just looking for the for the picture to be styled in the way that it is there. So I've given you specific instructions in the lab test, and that's what it should look like. It's not what everybody's code actually looks like. But just in terms of feedback as to how I actually want that written in the in the test itself, what I've got is I've got at the bottom of the screen here, I have got an example. So basically what I would like you to do is to copy the HTML code under the heading HTML and the HTML code from codepen.io. Basically what that does is it shows the photo, and I wanted an online photo as per the instructions in the lab test, and then a button to be displayed. So that's all I want in this, and then the function, as you notice, refers to my function. So that's an online picture, and the reason I want an online picture is because obviously we're dealing with an online tool here, and so I want to actually see that picture when I download it to my own when I download your answer to codepen.io. So the HTML portion is listed that way, then the CSS portion would be listed this way, and then the JavaScript portion would be listed that way. So basically what I've done is I've just simply copy and pasted the section from HTML and popped it in here under the heading HTML. I've copied the section CSS, and I've put that under the section under the heading CSS down here. And then the third thing I've done is I've copied the JavaScript under the heading JavaScript. So it's actually that simple. There's not that much of it. And the point about this is that the format for the actual lab test, which will be starting on the this Wednesday at 12 o'clock, I'll give you 3 attempts to do it, and we're going to give you plenty of time to do it as well, because obviously these are very unusual circumstances. But it will be of the same format. So that's what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'll tell you a little bit more about this in the lecture on Monday, but I'm going to put this particular script into the Blackboard, and you'll be able to actually have a look at it, and that's going to be worth 60% of that particular test. So it's worth just having a quick look at it for everybody. So I just wanted to be fair with everybody. Some people did it quite well, some people didn't seem to get it at all. But one thing I would make absolutely clear, there's 2 things here. Comments, there will be marks for putting comments in all 3 sections, so please put comments in, and please put headings in the actual answer that you give me as well. So what I want to be able to do is quite simply copy this, copy from your answer into the codepen.io, the 3 sections, and I want to be able to see this, and I'm going to demonstrate that now. So if what I do is I just go to CodePen and I get rid of these 3 bits here. Okay, you'll see that the HTML has disappeared, the CSS has disappeared, and the JavaScript has disappeared. Okay, so if I go back to, you've sent me in this answer here, that's the assumption, and what I do is I will simply copy and paste from your answer. I'll copy the HTML portion first, and I'll put it into the HTML section. Okay, and we should see this nice picture appearing. So there's this big fella. Sorry, the picture is big, and it's in this sort of square format. So then I copy the next section, which is the styling section or the CSS section. And notice I'm not copying the CSS heading. I'm just copying from the comment down. I don't want the JavaScript in there, so I just copy that. Control C, copy, and paste it in here. And now you'll notice the it's smaller, and it's in a styled format with a border around it as requested. If I click this button, nothing happens. That's because I haven't yet included the JavaScript portion. So if I put the JavaScript portion in here, into the JavaScript area, we'll see what happens. So there should be a bit of a flash, I hope, and with any luck, this will actually work. Yes, it does. The picture goes on and off, and that's because we've got the JavaScript function in here, which basically says that if we click this button, if it's switched on, we turn it off, and if it's already off, we switch it back on again. That's the very simple JavaScript function. So that's what I'm looking for in the test. That's worth 60% of the lab test. It's obviously going to be a different question for the real lab test as opposed to the mock lab test, but there'll be plenty of chance to do it, and there will also be an opportunity this Wednesday for us to go through things, to go through this with you if there's any misunderstanding in relation to it. So looking forward to seeing you on Monday, and also there will be the Blackboard session on Wednesday when we can actually go through the lab test. Now finally, I'd just say in terms of assignments, not all of you have handed up all of your assignments yet. I'm going to continue to accept those. Obviously there'll be a slight reduction in marks for assignment 2 and assignment 3 for those who didn't hand them up on time. So those who handed them up on time will certainly get a small bonus for that, about 10%. So anyway, just looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible tomorrow. And the final comment I would make is that I know now where to look for the comments on the the comments that you were making last week. Thank you very much for putting in your comments, and sorry that I didn't see them. I realized it was actually the YouTube chat as opposed to the YouTube comments section. I was looking in the comments section. So anyway, I'll get that right this week, and hopefully you're all keeping well and healthy, and looking forward to maybe not seeing you tomorrow, but certainly knowing that you're there, because we will have registration, and I do see who's looking, or I at least see how many people are looking at it or not. So hopefully you can all make it tomorrow anyway, and that's great. Okay, so good night for now, and take care.